The largest investment in many businesses isn't on the balance sheet, and that may be one of the most expensive assumptions in private equity. Private equity firms scrutinize equipment, technology, acquisitions, real estate, capital expenditures, working capital, debt. The board asks, what's the return? What's the utilization? What's the payback? What's the productivity gain? What's the enterprise value impact? But labor is usually discussed differently. Headcount, compensation, benefits, payroll, hiring, expense, budget, cost. And the moment labor became an expense, we stopped asking investment questions. The largest investment in the business isn't on the balance sheet, and that deserves a second look. Labor often represents 40%, 50%, sometimes 60% of operating expense. In many businesses, it's the largest investment the company makes. Yet, remarkably, little of the value creation plan is designed around improving the return on investment. The assumption is simple: labor is an expense. I think labor is capital, and the difference between those two ideas may be worth millions of dollars. Think about how organizations discuss technology. A company invests $5 million. Dollars. Immediately, the organization asks, what's the return? What's the utilization? What's the productivity gain? How long is the payback? Now imagine the same company spends $50 million on labor. What questions do we ask? What's the budget? Did we stay within it? Can we reduce it? Those are very different questions, and different questions produce different decisions. Private equity firms are exceptional capital allocators. They scrutinize acquisitions, technology, equipment, procurement, working capital. They measure returns. They demand accountability. They review performance. But labor often receives a different standard. The largest investment in the business isn't on the balance sheet. The market assumption is that labor belongs to HR. Finance owns cash. Operations owns productivity. HR owns people. Payroll owns administration. Benefits owns benefits. Recruiting owns hiring. Everybody owns a piece. Nobody owns the return. And opportunities without owners often go untouched. Who owns return on labor investment? Who reports it? Who improves it? Who measures it? Who discusses it? Most organizations cannot answer those questions. Not because people are incapable, because the operation was never designed to ask them. Now the environment changed. Labor costs increased, health care costs increased, manager burden increased, technology changed, artificial intelligence changed, administrative work changed, capital became more expensive, hold periods became longer, sponsors need more operating improvement, management teams need more free cash flow. Yet many organizations still manage labor like a budget, not an investment. The assumptions changed, the environment changed, but labor is still classified as an expense. Imagine the board reviewing a $5 million software investment. The questions are immediate. What's the return? What's the productivity? What's the utilization? What's the payback? Now imagine $60 million spent on labor. The conversation often becomes, did we stay in budget? That deserves another look, because labor is not merely a cost. Labor is productive capacity, management capacity, administrative capacity, decision-making capacity, customer capacity, operational capacity. Every hiring decision is a capital allocation decision. Every management layer is a capital allocation decision. Every administrative process is a capital allocation decision. Every hour spent on low value work is a capital allocation decision. This becomes an ownership problem. Assumes HR owns it. HR assumes operations owns it. Operations assumes finance owns it. The CEO assumes somebody owns it. The board assumes management owns it. Everybody owns a piece. Nobody owns the return. And opportunities without owners often go untouched. Let's discuss economics. A 1% improvement in labor economics may create meaningful EBITDA, reduce administrative burden, better manager productivity, improve technology utilization, lower overtime, reduce turnover, more efficient workflows, better span of control. These improvements compound, and at a private equity multiple, small improvements become meaningful enterprise value. The largest investment often receives the least scrutiny. The largest investment in the business isn't on the balance sheet. Private equity firms spend months optimizing procurement, negotiating vendors, reducing spend, managing contracts. Those things matter, but labor often represents the largest investment in the company, and many organizations spend more time discussing office supplies rather than workforce return. That doesn't make much sense. The market says labor is an expense. I think labor is capital, not because employees appear on a balance sheet, because labor is where companies deploy enormous amounts of capital. The question isn't, what does labor cost? The question is, what return are we generating on the largest investment in the business? If you bought your company today, would you measure labor the same way? Would you organize ownership the same way? Would you ask the same questions? Would you discuss labor at the board level differently? When somebody owns return on a labor investment, or would you continue treating the largest investment in the business as a budget line? This really isn't a labor discussion. It's a capital allocation discussion. The market assumes organizations miss opportunities because they lack information. I don't think that's true. Most companies have smart people. Most sponsors have smart operating partners. Most CFOs understand cash flow. Most management teams understand operations. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is classification. The moment labor became an expense, we stopped managing it like an investment. And the next turn of value may exist inside the largest investment in the business, because the largest investment in the business isn't on the balance sheet. And perhaps the question isn't, what does labor cost? Perhaps the question is, what return are we generating on the largest investment in the business? My name is Preston Leahy, and this is why I am the go-to for payroll in private equity, nationwide, no exceptions, no rivals. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.